Vanguardian Network, Vanguardian News, Mint Game Network. Um, I'm looking at Black Voters Matter and the hoopla about this voter suppression, Jim Crow, aka put any racist nomenclature that you want to put on it, as far as the states throughout the country passing these voter restricted laws and basically restricting, making it a little bit more stricter. You got IDs, voter registration IDs. A lot of people are, kind of, a lot of states are just kind of, really for the most part, just putting the screws to their voters. They didn't like the results. They didn't like the turnout of, the black voters and the high turnout and the record turnout that happened this past general election. And so you have this happens when these red states turn blue, they tend to scramble and try to put all this throw all these laws on the books about how a person can vote, where they can vote, time blocks when they can vote. So they're just making it a little bit more difficult for people all the way around the board. And also, it probably won't work because, and everybody's all up in arms about it, and rightfully so. But at the same time, let's face the reality of the real, okay? And the real is that this past general election, only 63% of registered voters actually voted, actually turned out to vote. 63% of registered voters. So when everyone is talking about and I've said this for years, you can be in a restaurant, bar, or social gathering, and the conversation kind of takes a turn into politics and voting and stuff like that, or with whoever candidate they like during the election year or so forth. And, a lot of people talk about, yes, I'm definitely going to, get the word out to go vote and this, that, and the other. But when you only have 63 or 62% throughout the country of registered voters actually taking time out to register, I guess that's a good number. But you like to get it up to about as close to 80 to 90% if you can. I know that's not realistic, but that should be a goal. And it's still, in my book, a marginal number of people that's actually registered voters that's actually getting out here and vote. So you take that number and you add it with these new laws throughout the state, in particular Georgia, you have an argument. You have an argument because, based on those numbers, a microcosm of what Georgia is. How many registered voters actually voted in Georgia? I mean, actually voted at all. So it's just a interesting nugget when I read 62% of the registered voters actually cast a vote in this past general election. So that's concerning to me, but I'm not surprised by it because a lot of people kind of puff their chests out and say that, yes, man, we got to get out and vote. Whatever you do, let's get people to the polls. Let's do this. Make sure you vote. Make sure you cast your vote. And sometimes that's not the case. Maybe 1 out of 2 times that person is just talking. So we got to do better. And we did well this past general election, but we can do better, much better. So, you have to, you can squawk about it, but at some point you have to move on if that's the law. And some of these governors at these red states um, that's changing these laws and making it restricting voters to from voting. You just have to do better. You just have to get those obstacles out the way, and you have to go around them, and you have to do whatever you got to do, and you have to prepare. So to me, it's still no excuse. Now, the ridiculous Georgia bill talking about you language that you can't supply people with water or food while they're in lines, and who's to say how long those lines are and how long you want people to stand out in those lines and without any type of refreshment if they're relatives or friends or just wanted to make sure they're okay and just give them some energy and food and water. But apparently in Georgia, you can get arrested and charged with a misdemeanor for partaking in that. So I don't know. I don't know why that's such a threat to lawmakers to bring some people some food or water if they're standing out for a long period of time. I just don't see why that's a threat. So maybe you can ask the governor, what's the purpose, the governor of Georgia, what's the purpose of that law? What why was that a big thing? Why was that put in there? And he can give you, maybe he can give you a satisfying answer, but I doubt it. A lot of things happening in this country, across the country. You had the gentleman, the deranged gentleman who basically killed a police officer trying to ram his car and hit up into the Capitol. The Asian American killings, the people of Asian descent being murdered by a gentleman who one officer said he was having a bad day. So there's a lot of different things going on. New York, you have a gentleman who on his birthdays, his daughter's 9-year birthday party, apparently killed his 9-year-old daughter's mother and 2 other daughters by a previous relationship, and then ultimately turned the gun on himself and took his own life. So you hate to hear news like that, but it's the world we live in, and stuff like that's going to happen. But a lot of this stuff is just being reported as everyday stuff that happens, and I'm not shocked by anything at all anymore. Just not shocked. Just not shocked by it. And we just have to do better as a people. We just have to do better as humans. Always room for improvement. And just, helping each other in need, and if that exists anymore. But just looking out for your neighbor, looking out for your neighborhood, and just have to do better as a community. So when you read these headlines and the shocking, just rest assured, that's going to motivate you to go the extra mile to be a better human being. And just try to, set an example for others, if possible. We're so consumed in our lives and our work days and our work schedules and our workflow that we kind of ignore the little things that you can do to make someone's life a little better. Just seeing if they're okay, just seeing if you know, you need anything that I can get you from the store. I'm going to the store. Did you need anything? I mean, just small things, just little small things like that can go a long way, and it will be appreciative. I'm pretty sure from that individual that you're, helping out. So, just a lot of different things that we can do to improve. And the coronavirus is still out there, but we just have to be safe and manage that at this particular time. A lot of people are reluctant to get the vaccine. I don't blame them. If you have any questions, why you doubts, don't do it. But I would seriously suggest that you do. Because the coronavirus is still lurking. It's still prevalent, and it can strike at any time. It can spike at any time. So I mean, Washington Nationals just had an outbreak that delayed their season opener. So they still got players that's not able to play because they're still dealing with getting a positive test or dealing with their quarantine issues. So in the protocol. So let's not put our guards down yet. It could be another 6-7 months before any reopening or any sense of what they think is normalcy or what was normalcy, which I don't think it will ever be normalcy. But, it could be 6 months from now that states are fully opening up. But you don't know. It's unknown at this time. So still in a pandemic, people. So just take all precautions seriously. You have the situation with Matt Gaetz, this sex trafficking dilemma that he finds himself in. He's a very arrogant guy. He's a Trump wannabe. Now he's in a jackpot, and he's denying all allegations. And I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. But they're very serious charges, and I hope he has a good lawyer. And he's been investigated for about a year, so we'll continue to monitor that situation. There's also a situation with just a small situation I saw with how can I not the Derek Chauvin case. I mean, apparently they're going to put George Floyd on trial, even though he was murdered, as we know. But apparently they're going to, they're trying to drag him in this trial like he was this uncontrollable beast of a man who had superhuman strength and therefore needed to be restrained the way he did. So that's the narrative they're pushing. And we'll see how the outcome turns out. But it's always the victim, who seems to be the bad guy in these trials. And it's unfortunate. And my condolences still go out to his family to have to sit there and watch those videos over and over again. But I'm sure they'll persevere, and they have resolved. His brother has resolved, and they're going to see it through, despite the graphic nature of how he died, George Floyd, his brother. So just an average day in the neighborhood, so to speak. So that's it for me. I just thought I would come on and talk about little different things and different topics, and we'll see what happens. Take care.